So guys, let's practice, right? Along the way, you can pause the video and to find out the uh, the examples first before I go through, right? So for example here, right, guys, do not worry about the time frame, guys, because sometimes I need to find the examples, right, for you. Uh, so don't worry, no, don't need worry when you are doing your standard trading. If it's 2 days chart, it should be 1 year. You should be looking at 1 year, right? It should be 1 year, 2 days, or you are looking at the 4 years, should be 1 week. So the strategy can be applied to any time frame, and for swing trading, right, you know that you should be looking at either 1 year, 2 days, or 4 years, 1 week time frame. You choose either one. Understand? Choose one that is you prefer, right? I mainly swing trading on 1 year, 2 days right now, and if I'm looking to hold about the trade much longer, I will look more on the 4 years, 1 week chart. Okay, for more of a higher time frame entry into the stock. Okay, so in this example here, right, you can pause the video, right? I can share with you guys, give you some clue, right? Somewhere here, right, some in this region, means somewhere below here is the bullish FS formation. So you can actually pause the video and now and go and practice finding this first, right? Finding the formation first. So all this strategy actually is got to do with pattern recognition, right? It's like take it like a game, right? To find the patterns, like finding wallies. Last time when I was young, I like to borrow the finding wallies, right? Then find the pattern, right? Hiding somewhere. Okay. Hope you enjoy the process of learning trading here as well. Okay, so you can pause the video and look at the bullish FS. Okay. So assuming that you have already practiced, and I'm going to go through now. So over here, right, is in a clear no man's land, right? No man's land. Okay. Okay. So and the price moving up higher and higher, and then it was very clear in a uptrend retracement, right? Uptrend retracement here, right? But the key thing is that we saw a bullish FS. So guys, see, this is my number one bar. You have to follow me closely. Number one bar, number two, right? This form, I only know there's a mother when there's a baby bar. So these two bars confirms that there is an inside bar. So the third bar goes below the mother bar low. It is the fourth bar. This is the fourth bar, which is a bullish markup bar, right? This is the bullish markup bar that closed back as a bullish EXE within the mother bar range. And trader can enter, your entry can be within the mother bar, sorry, can be within the sweet spot, stop loss somewhere at the lows here, and you should be able to get your 1:2 risk reward if you enter the trade before the prices move up higher. So this is an example of a bullish FS. We call this a bullish FS test 20 SMA. Understand? In the uptrend retracement. Okay. So next over here, right? Okay, you will be able to find, right, a bearish FS over here somewhere at the lows here. So again, you can pause the video and find it first before I go through. Okay, so let's say now you're done, right? You're done finding now, and I'm going to go through now. Okay, so after you have practiced finding, right, this is actually a mini downtrend here, right? Trades below 20 has already crossed sloping downwards below the 50 SMA, right, in a clear down move or downtrend, and then there was a retracement. But what's interesting about this retracement was that it's actually also a bearish FS. So guys, you can see, guys, this number one, number two, right? You need to know there's a mother when there is a baby bar. So I know that these two bars is an inside bar, but what's interesting is that the third bar, it goes above the mother bar high and close back within the mother bar range, right? Within the mother bar range as a bearish markdown bar. And this confirms the bearish four strike condition, right, to go short. Understand? And eventually the price did go down lower after that. Okay, so this is a valid up down trend retracement bearish four strike example. Okay, and next we have Kroger, right? This stock called Kroger, and again, you guys can pause the video and find the example for closure. Okay, so it is actually, I would say that it's actually bullish FS is somewhere here at the lows here. Okay, so again, you can pause the video and look out for the structure. Okay, so now assume that you are done, right? Basically, you can see that price 20 cross 50 already, right? Price action clearly trending up above, right? Even though it's like a bit whipsaw here, but it's generally moving up higher. And then you can see that price action do a retracement here. So what's interesting about this retracement is that, right, as you can see over here, right, that you have this mother bar, baby bar. You know there's a mother when there's a baby. The formation of the mother baby bar does not matter, can be red or green, can be any kind of bars, as long as the baby bar is within the mother bar range, and the third bar can be any kind of bars. And it is actually the fourth bar that goes below the mother bar low and close back at or above the mother bar low and within the mother bar range as what we call, this is actually a bullish pin bar EXE, right? Because it closed at or above 1/3 of the bar range, even though the bar body is red, and but that you know that bullish pin bar, the bar body color does not matter. Okay, so this fulfills the bullish FS formation on uptrend retracement, right? This is a bullish FS test 20 SMA, right? And trader can enter anywhere within the sweet spot, which is somewhere here, and eventually the price would have given you your 1:2 risk reward. Okay, so another example here, right, guys, right? In fact, this happens a lot, right? And I make a lot of money trading using this strategy. It's a very once you learn this strategy, is you understand the beauty of it. It's very simplified. It's always the same. You don't need fanciful indicators, right? Just looking at identifying uptrend retracement, downtrend retracement, and the bar formation. Okay, it's not rocket science. It will take practice, and once you can identify it, right, it stays the same. Okay, so another stock is called iCall Holdings. iCall Holdings, right? And this happened recently, right? Uh, and you can see, right, it was in a clear uptrend, right? Price moving up higher, and there was a retracement back to the 20 SMA. And what's interesting about the retracement was that you can see that this is actually the mother bar, baby bar, right? You can see that this baby bar entire range is within the mother bar range, right? So I need to know there's a mother when there is a baby, and this confirms the inside bar formation. So the third bar, right, actually goes, you can actually consider the third bar as a bullish pin already, right? A bullish pin bar, a bullish pin bar, right? A bullish pin bar. The third bar is the bar that goes below the mother bar lows and close back at or above the mother bar lows and within the range as a bullish pin bar. If not, the fourth bar is also another bullish pin EXE that close back within the mother bar range. Either one is fine, you can trade them. Okay, and eventually the price did move up after that. Okay, so this is a valid bullish FS test 20 SMA example. Okay, and we have this another one called the SBAC stock, right, guys? So it's somewhere here. You can find a bearish false strike example over here, somewhere at the lows here. So again, you can pause the video, right? You can pause the video and go and find the example. Okay, all right, guys, so let's say now that you are done, right? You are done, right? You can actually find over here. Actually, it's somewhere here as well, right? You can see it here, right? It's actually somewhere here as well. Okay, so if you find it here, actually, I'm going to show you an example where initially you get stop out, but you can do what we call a re-entry. Okay, so over here, you can see that price action is in the clear general downtrend, and there was a retracement to the 20 SMA. Okay, so what's interesting about the retracement is this, right? Okay, you can see that this is a mother bar. I can see that this is a mother bar, baby bar. Again, you only know there's a mother when there is a baby bar. So the baby bar is within the mother bar range, the third bar, the fourth bar, the fifth bar. right? The fifth bar is what we call a bearish. Sorry, let me just remove this. So we call a bearish markdown bar that close back within the mother bar range as a bearish EXC. So eventually the price did go down after that. Okay, so this is a valid, we call this a valid bearish FS test 20 SMA in downtrend. Okay, and next let me use another different color, right? Okay, so you can see clearly, right, in the downtrend, right, retracement, there's another one here, right? You can see over here the retracement here. There is a mother bar, baby bar. You know there's a mother when there is a baby within the mother bar range. Third bar, fourth bar. So the fourth bar is a bearish markdown. It's a bearish markdown bar, right? If you have entered in this bearish markdown bar, right, you would have been stopped out, right, by this bar over here. Agree? Okay, so guys, once you get stopped out, right, okay guys, in trading it's not 100%, right? We talk about high probability. So in the case where you get stopped out, you just have to cut. But when you make money, right, you're going to make 1:2, 1:3, right, so that you make more than you will lose, so you'll be profitable in the long run. So in cases like this where you get stopped out, right, price move up above the high and you should be putting your stop loss somewhere there, right, you can count the bars up to 5 bars for re-entry. So what do I mean by up to 5 bars? Okay, what do I mean by up to 5 bars? Up to 5 bars, for example, you count the first bar that stops you out as number 1, right? By number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, if there's another bearish EXE that close back within the mother bar range, right, you can do a re-entry with the same size, right? If you initially risk, let's say $100, you risk again $100, right? Of course, now you will have a different stop loss because it will be based on the re-entry bar. Understand? Okay, so this is what I would do if I were to do a re-entry. And in this case, the bar that stops out the bearish markdown bar, right, is also a bar that comes at close back as a valid bearish EXE and as another bearish markdown bar. So this bar would have been a valid re-entry bar. So if you get stop out and within 5 bars, again you count the first bar as the first bar that stops you out as number 1, right? And this is actually the bar that stops you out and also the bar that closes back in as a bearish markdown bar. And you can take this as another attempt. So you get stop out once, never mind. You do again if there is you trade again if there is another bearish EXE here and put a stop loss, because now you're referencing a different immediate swing high. So you could put a stop loss somewhere here and you could trade this down later on to make back what you lost plus more. Understand? Okay, so this is what we call example of a re-entry scenario. Okay, so what happened? Okay, so common question, what happened if you got stop out after the re-entry? You stop. Understand? If you got stop out after re-entry, right, look for another trade. It means that something is not wrong, something is not right about the price action, right? You may have to review again and do another separate trade if there's another new structure or opportunity with that occurs. Okay, don't keep doing, understand? Okay, only re-entry, right? I would suggest only one time for re-entry. Okay, so another example here is Chevron, right? I know it's an oil company, everyone should know Chevron, right? So it was very clear, right? There was a downtrend, there was a major plunge, and then there was a retracement. In fact, this retracement was very deep. We call it a very deep retracement, like a full retracement, right? But however, what happened here, right? Interesting about this retracement is, right? You can see over here, right, guys? Over here, there was a mother bar, baby bar. You know that there's a mother when there is a baby, the third bar. Fourth bar goes above the mother bar high. Fifth bar close back within the mother bar range as a bearish markdown bar. So stop loss somewhere at the high here. You enter somewhere here, you'll be able to get your 1:2 target. So this is actually a bearish FS test 20 SMA scenario in a downtrend retracement example. Okay. So once again, we have right this stock, American Express, right? One of the stock, right? I think I traded this structure as well. I made a lot of money in Amex, Amex stock. Okay, so again, guys, you can find a bullish FS here somewhere at the lows here, right? So you can again pause the video, right, and find first, right? Practice finding, visually finding the structure first, right, before I go through them. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's say you're done, and let's say you can see that here, right, the price action was in a clear up move, right, uptrend, right, up move, small uptrend here, upside price movement here, and then there was a retracement, right, to the 20 SMA. Okay. So what happened over here, interesting here is that, right, you can see that there was a mother bar, baby bar, right? It's very small doji that's within the mother bar range. And then the third bar goes below the mother bar low, and the fourth bar, not really an EXE, but the fifth bar would have been a valid bullish pin. Would have been a valid bullish pin bar, right? Small one, but it's a valid one that closed back within 5 bars within the mother bar range for execution. So you could have make back your make your 1:2 target easily. In fact, the market maker do another false bottom here, right? This is later on in you will know that this is actually another tradable pattern as well. Okay, and before the prices move up higher. Okay, so this is a valid over here, right? Was a valid, right? Was a valid bullish FS in uptrend retracement test 20 SMA. Again, I want to emphasize that you'll never know whether the price will retrace to 20 or the 50 SMA until he retraces there. So it doesn't matter, right? What you do is you watch what happened at 20 and 50. If there is a bullish FS, you can trade it. Okay. Right, next we have this Grayscale Ethereum Trust, and I want to share with you that sometimes I also do very speculative trades. So it may not be a company, it could be a very speculative company, even if the company is losing money, right? Because we are trader by nature, we are not going to hold for many years. Okay, so of course, if you are investor, right, you are entering based on holding the trade for investment purposes, like into fundamentally sound company, you can use SPY strategy to time your entries, right? I do that as well, but for certain trades that I do, some trades that I do are speculative in nature, right? They are not in fundamentally strong company, but I still take them. But but I will know that, right? These are trades that if it hit a certain risk reward, I will exit. I'm not intending to hold for long term, right? Unless it's maybe for fundamentally strong companies, right? Which Adam covered in his investment course. Okay, so this example of Grayscale Ethereum Trust, and I saw a tradable pattern here. So what happened is that you can see the price action goes up in the uptrend, right? In general upside price movement, and it retraces down, okay, to the 20 SMA. So what's interesting about this retracement was I saw this, right, and it opens up. I was like, instead of getting panic sell or get afraid of the price action, it gives me confidence to trade on this sell down, especially when the cryptocurrency market, right, was heating up. Okay, and a lot of people are looking at exposure into crypto assets. So I can see that, you see, this is the two bars, right? This is the mother bar. The first bar is the mother bar, baby bar. I only know there's a mother when there is a baby bar. So the third bar goes below the mother bar low, and the fourth bar is a bullish markup bar that closed back within the mother bar range as we call this a bullish 4 strike test 20 SMA. Okay, so you could have made your 1:2 easily, right, in this example, and you will not stop loss somewhere here, it will not be tested. Okay, so this is a very good example of a speculative trade as well. And we have Prudential, right? Prudential over here, right? Again, guys, you can pause the video and it's somewhere around here, bullish FS. Somewhere around here, you can find the bullish FX example. Okay, this for the stock Prudential. Okay, so you can pause the video and find it first. So let's say you're done, right? You are done now, and you can see, right, it was in the clear uptrend, and there was a retracement, a very typical setup over here, right? And you can see that, right, over here, what's interesting about this retracement was you have a, so let me just take this away. Okay, you can see this is a mother bar, baby bar. You only know there's a mother when there is a baby. Okay, so this was the inside bar, but third bar goes below the mother bar low. Sorry, the third bar goes below mother bar low. The fourth bar closed back as a bullish, we call this a bullish pin bar within the mother bar range. So this is executable. Executable means you can trade it, right? Once it forms, this confirms the bullish FS test 20 SMA in uptrend retracement pattern. And this, you can put a stop loss somewhere here at the lows here, right? And to trade this all the way back up, this will have got you more than 1:2. That's why sometimes I say that in some of these fundamentally stronger company like Prudential was a fundamentally strong, sound insurance company, right? You could have easily break through, do a trade that's more than 1:2, right? In some in this kind of scenario, because you are not entering when the price is very high, is very obvious. You're entering when the price is the least obvious, right? In the lowest end of the retracement before it move up higher. Understand? Okay. Right, so we also have this example here, right? JD.com, right? JD.com is a Chinese listed company in just like Amazon, Alibaba, right? Okay, so it's one of the top e-commerce company in China. So I traded this and make a lot of money in JD.com as well. So over here you can see, right? There's actually a Bull FS here, another Bull FS here, example over here. Okay, so you can pause the video and go ahead and find the example here. And actually I give you a clue, I redraw the line inside. Okay, so you can pause the video and you can go and look out for the formation. All right, so let's say you're done. Okay, let's say you're done, right? And let's take a look, right? You have a uptrend here, and then there was a retracement. So what's interesting about this retracement is that over here, or this retracement is that over here you can see, right, there is a mother bar, baby bar. You didn't know there's a mother when there's a baby. You can see this second bar was within the mother bar range. The third bar goes below the mother bar range and close back. The fourth bar closed back as a bullish pin bar. So this confirms the bullish FS test 20 SMA, and you can trade this, and this will give you a lot of risk reward. Understand? A lot of risk reward in this just this trade alone. And if it's a fundamentally sound company, right, you could have doubled your money if you have held it all the way from $32 all the way to 64. In fact, it went to as high as about over $100. And I still think that JD.com is a fundamentally sound company. Okay, for many years it was losing money because it was a company that's growing, reinvesting the money to grow. And I do think that, right, in now and in the future, in the next few years, JD.com is going to make a lot of money because now is they are receiving the fruits of their labor, right? That the labor that they really planted all these years, right, to invest in the business. Okay, so these are some of the fundamental consideration as well. Okay, so over here, right, there is also a bullish mini uptrend here, and then there was a retracement back to the 20 SMA, right? So you can see, right, guys, you can see over here what's interesting about the retracement was you have a mother bar, baby bar, right? Third bar, fourth bar, fifth bar, sixth bar, right? Sixth bar looks like a bullish markup bar. So I consider this a bullish markup bar because I still consider this bar body as about 2/3 of the bar range. So this will confirm the bullish FS test 20 SMA scenario in the uptrend retracement. So again, if you miss out on this trade at the bottom here, there's another one over here that you can actually ride the wave along the way in the uptrend. Okay, so these two are examples here. So even though this is on the 6 bar, guys, like I mentioned, 5 or 6 still can, but 7 onwards, I don't recommend. Okay, I don't recommend. And I'm going to share with you guys this, right? This is something that I only want to share towards the end of this continuation strategy examples. Okay, so guys, please write down, right? Please write down a piece of paper and this take note about this, right? Okay, so here I'm going to share with you. You can also use the 200 SMA, right? However, you can use the 200 SMA only for weekly chart. I repeat again, it is only for weekly chart. Then you use the 200 SMA. That means you add in the 200 SMA, line into your chart for when you're trading the stocks in using the weekly time frame. Okay, you can add in the 200 SMA. And take note, if there is a bullish FS or bearish FS that occurs on the 200 SMA, okay, to me is a very, very high probability scenario. Okay, only for the weekly chart. For the 2 days chart, right, stick to the 20 and 50 SMA. Don't use the 200 day SMA. Okay, this is only for weekly chart. You add in the 200-day SMA. And even if price action is below 50 SMA, but if there is a bullish FS that occurs at the 200 SMA, this black line is the 200 SMA. To me, it's a very highly potent trade. So you can take note, it's a high probability trade. For example, for Lockheed Martin, it does, you see, this is at the 200 SMA, right? It's a mother bar, baby bar. You know there's a mother when there is a baby. So the third bar goes below the mother bar low, and it closes back in at or above the mother bar low as a bullish markup bar. So this gives me confidence that, right, it's a high probability trade that will go back up. As you can see, the market maker printed a lot of this bearish bar pattern to scare people off, right? And I knew that this was actually a very fundamentally sound company for my conversation with Adam, but I used the price action strategies over here, bullish FS, right? The guideline to enter into the trade. Understand? Okay, so if you see that there's a fundamentally strong company that forms a bullish FS on the weekly chart, you can consider them. Okay, and potentially you can hold them much longer as well. Okay, so take note, I repeat again, guys, 200 SMA is only for the weekly chart. Okay, don't use it on the 2 days chart. Okay, this is like that's why I leave this towards the end of this lesson to share with you. Okay, so another example over here, right? You can see that, right, there was a a test of the 200-day SMA, right? This is the black line, the 200 SMA, and there was a formation of a bullish FS, as you can see over here, right? There was a mother bar, baby bar, right? I didn't know there's a mother when there is a baby, right? There's an inside bar here, the third bar. The fourth bar is the bar that goes below the mother bar low and close back at or above the mother bar low and within the mother bar range as a bullish pin bar. So it's very subtle, very subtle. And when you see this, right, there's a high probability. I would not, okay, so in trading language, guys, so we will not, we don't use 100% in trading. We always use this language. So we frame our mindset to have a probabilistic mindset, and that will be helpful, right, in trading, right? So we say that there's a high probability or high chance that it will go back up after that. So in fact, if you put a stop loss here, your entry somewhere here, right, your risk is very tight, and this will have given you a very, very comfortable. In fact, it goes much higher if you have held it long enough, right? After that, okay. So again, only use the weekly, right, for the 200 SMA test. This is like a, so take note, guys, it does not happen frequently, right? So these are, when it happens, it's very high probability, and it's very, very high probability. Understand? So it does not happen frequently, but when it does, you can consider entering it, right, with a slightly much bigger size, or you want to hold it longer if it's a fundamentally sound stocks. Understand? So these are based on experience that I've been trading all these years, so you can keep this on the lookout. All right, so guys, I hope you have learned something useful in this lesson. We have covered the formation of the bullish false strike bar, bearish and bullish in uptrend retracement and downtrend retracement, and cover a lot of examples, and also a special bonus that I share with you about the 200-day SMA false strike. Okay, so practice, and hope you find this lesson useful, and in fact this is my favorite strategy. I'll see you in the next lesson.